And that way of doing it is going live. So joining me today, we got Kathy, Courtney, and Chris Nevada. What's going on, guys?
Here we are live.
Yeah, so the way I do lives, as many of you guys know, is I like jumping into it and being able to unravel it as we go. So one thing I'm really interested in with both of these two power players next to me is what made you guys decide to partner together? What was it that you saw in Chris that you're like, man, that is the person I want to partner with and grow my business?
Well, I'll start this off because we talked about core values
Yeah.
or core beliefs rather, and one of mine is who you associate with, who you partner with matters.
Yeah.
So when I had the choice of coming to EXP, I looked around.
Yeah.
Chris. In fact, Chris, I don't think you had even approached me about it. I don't even think you talked to me about it. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I called you. Yeah.
Reached out to me.
Yep. So I had certain things that I wanted in a partner and a sponsor at EXP.
Yeah.
And I had lots of different options, and chose Chris because something that mattered to me doesn't matter to a lot of people is I wanted the energy of an office. I wanted people around. I wanted people to bounce ideas off of, and Chris had that space. So I wanted somebody with more experience than me and someone who could help me to make an easy transition. So that's when I reached out to Chris because he had all those things. And I'm very, very happy with my decision, by the way, Chris, in case you didn't know.
Well, I'm so happy you came over. So,
Yeah.
So Chris, when you first got that call, were you shocked? Were you taken back, or like what was your reaction to it?
Well, there's been a lot of buzz, with the EXP. So it was really cool to get the call and sit down. There's many, many people I talk to. Some make the jump over and some don't.
Yeah.
Some wait and then they come a year or two later.
Yeah.
And then they wish they would have came many years ago, So it's
right.
It's always great to talk with Kathy. And so when we got to sit down and kind of hash it all out, and see, the benefit for both of us. Yeah, it was good.
And I think a lot of times too with the EXP, when we talk about this partnership, that word is thrown around a lot. Like we're partnering with these people. We're partnering with these people. What does partnership between Kathy and Chris look like? We'll go to Kathy.
You want me to go first?
I'll go to Kathy first.
Yeah, go for it,
I'll go first. Well, for me, it's being able to have somebody I can reach out to. If I have a need for anything, a question about anything, Chris is and he's one of the busiest men in show business, but I'm going to get my answer back within minutes or whatever I need, or here's the link, or here's that, or something will pop up in my email. Have you thought about this? Check this out. Here's some good information for you. He's been a really wonderful resource.
Well, you know why I do that, right, Kathy? Because if I don't answer right away, I will forget. So I have to do it spot and send it, So, yes.
A man with a method.
Yes.
Yeah. And, Chris, like this opportunity that we're looking at here too, with your ability, because, man, I'll tell you what, I take a look at that top chart and you are leading the way with our group with a lot of things that are going on. So what do you believe that you're doing differently, or as far as like what you're offering to agents in the partnership model that you're being able to offer to these agents?
I think nothing's really changed. It doesn't matter if you're with EXP, not with EXP, or even before I was with EXP. I just share everything, right?
Yeah.
I share everything. I'm pretty famous saying I give 99% of everything away. Until you understand that 99%, you won't understand that last 1%. And but I give everything away. I just my attraction, I think, is just helping everybody. There's enough business out there for everybody. I don't think you have to hold. There's no major secrets out there. I go to a lot of masterminds.
Yeah.
Everybody's sharing. That's just what we do.
Yeah. So like, as far as like the local partnership that you guys have, can you talk to me a little bit about like the masterminds that go on the local level?
Well, we do a mastermind once a month on Wednesday at noon, and it's open to anybody who wants to come.
Yeah.
And I think we're really going to be even starting to focus more on team leaders. Chris, is that a thing, or did I hear that?
Yeah, definitely a thing. That's something that I'm kind of noticing, talking with not just the EXP people here, but there's a lot of teams that are reaching out to me, and they're a little bit struggling, and there's some fine tuning and some partnerships that I need to teach, and I want to teach and give them that information so that they expand.
So what are some of those things that you see teams and just individuals struggling with right now? Like you were saying, like specifically with teams right now.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've been running the smaller teams. I'm really surprised at the splits that they're offering their team members. And when I hear 80-20, I'm like, so you're getting 20%. I'm like, well, how do you expect to grow your business that way? Right. And they're like, well, my agents won't stay. I go, well, then you find new agents, right? The only reason why there's a problem with commission splits is if there's an absence of value. So that means you're not giving something of value to them to keep them, but you can't grow your business by keeping 20%, right? You're not going to grow your team. You're not going to give more value to your team members if you're keeping 20%. So
you're not going to pay your bills.
Correct. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of partnerships, especially, with your lenders that you can partner with and cut half your costs, right? Bring some good lending partners in, and now all of a sudden you can start grabbing more profit, getting more leads, right? And I think that there's some disconnect there. So that's why we're going to kind of switch to maybe some of these team leaders and help them out, give them some value.
And, I feel like that, again, that word value gets thrown around a lot. Like, hey, we're offering our agents a lot of value. So like, what are you guys doing to add value to your agents? Because we were talking about this too. What's SOS, Kathy?
Shiny object syndrome.
So how do you stay away from shiny object syndrome
Very good.
and add value to your agents that they can literally implement and grow their business?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I've grown my team and retained team members, right? I wake up every day and go, how do I add more value? What more can I give for my team members? And sometimes that's just getting your team members together and going, what do you guys need? What are you guys looking for? How do I make your job easier? How do I get you out there, doing what you needed to be doing and not worrying about the little stuff? Right. And so that's where, when you wake up or you're looking at your team and you're trying to add value, talk to your team members. Most of the time, they're going to tell you what they're looking for, what they need. Be it, simple stuff, the transaction coordination, the paperwork aspect of it. Maybe it's showing partners, right? There's just so much that you can help them out with. And most of the time, you just have to ask them, right? And they'll give you that feedback back to you. You're there. I mean, my job's here to make their life easier, not harder.
Yeah. So, Kathy, I have a question for you that we didn't cover yet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. And we're live. So
Oh.
where do you see yourself in this partnership going in the next 4 to 5 years?
The partnership with Chris?
Yep.
I'd like to be out of day-to-day production in a couple of years and in 4 years being my team is supporting itself and providing some income to me and then just playing with my horses.
Yeah.
And I hope to be aligned with Chris.
Yeah.
And kind of like when I talk about shiny object syndrome,
right.
you have to distill out all the information that you don't need that you want to do. So I just kind of watch what Chris is doing.
Yeah. And, something that we were talking about too is one of your core beliefs is who you partner with and who you grow with in business matters.
Right.
Right. So how did you see aligning with Chris getting you to your goal in the next 4 to 5 years?
Well, Chris, so I don't want exactly what Chris has. Chris has a mega team, a really large team.
Yeah.
And that's not where I'm going. But I can take the bits and pieces that he has done to put that team in place and use it at the scale I want to use it. And so that's going to shorten my learning curve.
Yeah.
And that's going to speed me up to get to where I want to go.
And Chris, you're doing very well before you decided to make this move. So so it was a little bit ago, but walk me through a little bit about the problems that you saw where you were at and how this model in EXP helped you solve it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been here for 2 years now.
Right.
It was really just, there wasn't like huge problems where I was at before. I was a KW guy, right?
Yeah.
Nothing bad about them. It was all good. Just taking a look at the model, right? And good old Jay Kinder talked to me, 6-7 years ago about it when there's like 1,000 people. I was like, yeah, sounds too good. Right. You're just like, no, not happening.
Yeah.
But at that time, COVID just hit. It was just kind of like, all right, take a look at everything and look at all the pieces once again, right? Talking about value to your team members. And I was kind of at a place where, do I go independent?
Right.
What am I going to do here? And then ultimately,
just really quick before we move past that, what was making you thinking of going independent or even making a move in the first place?
Well, once again, the place that I was at, and you take a look at all the money that you're providing and you're giving in from your team and what you're doing and the value you're giving in, what are they giving back, right? And there wasn't really any give back to it. And it was just kind of like, okay, what can I do by going independent or going somewhere else that I can give more value to my team members? And EXP kind of answered all those questions, right? I couldn't give them rev share. I couldn't give them stock for my company.
Yeah.
Couldn't give them healthcare. There was just a lot of things like that I'm going, well, how do I set my team members up for success for the future?
Right.
And the EXP kind of checked all those boxes, and it just really, really made sense. And so it wasn't like it was my decision. Once again, core believe in like bringing my team members in, and we rented this big suite. I brought my top 10 in, and I just said, okay, guys, this is what I'm thinking. Poke holes in this. Tell me what you guys want to do.
Yeah.
And every single one of the team members were like, let's go now. I'm like, whoa, slow down. I need to find out. There's some other things we need to put in place.
Yeah.
But they were super excited about it, just like I was.
Yeah.
Right? And so that made sense. And just breaking it down with them, going, hey, this is more stuff I want to give you guys. This is long term. I think a lot of time we think about what does retirement look like for a real estate agent, right?
Right.
We don't go to realtor retirement parties, right?
Yeah, I heard a joke the other day. The only real estate retirement party someone's been to was a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want my agents to be those people. So it was kind of like, how can we make this all work? And like I said, EXP just checked all those boxes. And listen, I don't drink the Kool-Aid or anything like that. I go where it's best for me and my team.
Right.
And I constantly look. There's some knockoffs. There's some different things out there, right?
Yeah.
But once again, they're still not better.
Right.
They're just not. And I go toe to toe with anybody and go, well, tell me what's better out there than this. Who's going to provide more value? And they can't, right? And so that's what it comes down to. So that's kind of how I made the decision, the choice. And like I said, it wasn't just mine; it was my team.
Yeah. And I think that's something you were talking about as well earlier about the entrepreneurial mindset of the individuals that are here.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chris said, if you could find a better model and a better opportunity, you're open, right? It's not like you're drinking the Kool-Aid and I'm here no matter what. If there's a better opportunity, but that's the business mindset of going to where the opportunity is, not just for you, but for your team as well.
And it's so fresh. There's so many people contributing that it's, refreshed every day.
Yeah.
In terms of ideas and growth.
So guys, tell me a little bit about what you guys plan on doing. We're going to wrap it up here in a second, but what do you guys plan on doing? So you guys have that office. Are there any activities, masterminds that you're doing? I know you said you do the Wednesdays once a month. What else do you guys do at that in-person office?
Well, within the office, we still have some other smaller teams and some individual agents, right?
Yeah.
So it's still a great feeling. And that's something that I do, right? That's I provide, which I'm happy to do.
Yeah.
It's still nice having that culture and that atmosphere of sharing, right? I still believe, I'm a big believer in that, in the culture.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to keep on adding. I still have about another 10, 15 offices we're going to fill up. That's our goal for the year.
Nice.
And it's kind of nice the way we have it segmented too, because Chris has a particular model that, big team model. And then there are a bunch of us that are smaller teams or maybe high producing individual agents that we're all kind of in the same wing together. So we have the culture that is more what we're doing, and we can go to the next office and talk about it. And then if I have some bigger questions, I can go to Chris, who's sort of on the other side of the building. So we're there, we coexist. But in terms of business, our day-to-day business, we're not related. In terms of our commitment to growth for everybody, we are related.
So talk to me a little bit about how, that's a lot different of a mindset than I've seen in almost any other model before this and almost any other business. The fact that you guys aren't in direct alignment financially, but you guys are still opening the playbooks. Right. So how, was there something that I feel like this is something that we all talk about, but until you experience it and you're there, it's one of those things that you almost can't put a finger on. So I believe that's why, you guys doing those events and bringing people in, I can't going out to your guys' office. That's definitely on my to-do list.
Oh, for sure.
And as far as doing events and what you guys have going on, do you guys have any trainings or anything going on here upcoming soon?
Well, Chris is doing trainings all the time, and it's an open door thing with him.
When's the next one, Chris?
Well, yeah.
You've got a board right in your office.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But by the front door of your office, you may not know it, but you have a board with all of your trainings on it.
Yeah, I mean, we keep everybody updated what's kind of going on, what's new. As far as a big thing coming up next, don't have anything crazy big coming up. We're still doing our monthly deals there. And with all our other EXP events coming up, we have some big ones coming up with there, right?
Yeah.
Robins and whatnot. So yeah, those are just the things that we're doing right here locally.
Yeah. So how can agents reach out to you guys, and is the office available to any agent that can come in there and mastermind?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's always, listen, I don't care what brokerage you're at, right? Just don't care. I'll help anybody. There's many agents that I meet with regularly with lunch, dinners, different things.
Yeah.
I'll help anybody. There's enough business, way too much business out there. There needs to be that secret agent, right? Keeping all the think you're going to keep all those secrets. And that's totally different than some other brokerages, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people come over and are like, why are you sharing all this? I'm like, why wouldn't you share all of this? We don't share anything over where I came from. And that just kind of blows my mind. So,
yeah.
And I would say also a thing that I really enjoy there is it's a pretty ego-filled business industry that we're in, but I don't see a lot of that floating around. Everybody, it's not, nobody's better than the next person, or nobody's not willing to share. And any of Chris's team members know, like, I specialize in land. So if there's a question about land, my door is always open. I've got another medium-sized team down the hall. Had some questions about CRMs. I just go down, knock on the door. Hey, what about this? What about that?
Yeah.
I've got a sole agent who's a big producer in the office, and he wanted to have some time off this summer, so I'm covering his stuff for him. It's awesome.
So why do you think that is, where there is a lot of ego in the industry?
Mm-hmm.
So like, why do you think that is, like the culture and the atmosphere there? Why do you think that's different?
I think we all have the same mindset that Chris does. It's like I said, time is more valuable than money, right?
Yeah.
Time is finite, but the ideas, it's all about the implementation. I may not implement exactly like Chris does, or I don't have the need to or want to, but I can take a piece of what he's doing. So by him, completely opening his book to me, he's not losing anything. He's gaining.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the secret, right? You open the book and you share, because it's no different than when you go to masterminds or you do something or you hear someone speak.
Yeah.
Person, when you're in that room, you're not going to go back and do those 50 things that person's doing, right? You're going to pick what's best for your business and where you want to go to. And that's kind of just, where I'm at. Yeah, I have a huge, massive team. If someone wants a 5-man team, 10-man team, 20-man team, like, I can help them all the way along the lines there, right? If they want to get into mortgage, I can help them do that. If they want to get into title, I can help them do that. There's just different avenues and different things that I can help people with. And everybody wants their business to look a little bit different, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah, guys. So if you guys want to take a peek behind the scenes and take a look at what that open book looks like, you guys can go ahead and reach out to Kathy or Chris. And on top of that, too, we're going to be doing virtual masterminds once every other week that we're going to be able to get you guys invited to. It's just open masterminds, sharing information. Doesn't matter where you're at. No strings attached. Doesn't matter where you're at. So go ahead and reach out to Kathy or Chris, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, Chris.